Welcome, everybody, to the one and only Strasbourg Steve YouTube channel. I'm delighted to have all you guys here. So far, we got 2 watching. That's cool. So definitely feel free, guys, to like, comment, subscribe, all this good stuff. Leave your comments. I'll be interacting with any of you guys that want to, chip in with some comments or join the stream. We already got Zaid in the building. What's going on, Zaid? Good afternoon to you from, from Jordan. Zaid from Jordan. Just returned back from school and Steve is here. Yes. That's what's up, man. That's what's up. Feel free to join, Zaid, too. Just look at the pinned comments. Today I'll be discussing my predictions for the Champions League, Europa League, and UEFA Conference League. I will be discussing and predicting what I feel the groups and some of the games will go. I'm familiar with lots of these teams throughout the competition. It depends on what which group we're talking about. Obviously, the Conference League, I'm not as familiar with all the teams, but I do know a little bit more than I would say the average football fan does. But I watch lots and lots of leagues, and I try to get the whole picture. First we'll first talk about my Champions League group predictions. So we'll start off with Group A. Group A, we got Man City, PSG, Leipzig, and Club Brugge. And obviously, the 2 standout teams are going to be Manchester City and Paris Saint-Germain. And then Leipzig, they've been actually pretty good in the Champions League the past few years, and they made some really good runs. And then Bruges, obviously, they've got some talented players. They shouldn't be looked down upon or anything like that. But we'll start off with who I think is going to finish where. So Group A, first place I have Paris Saint-Germain. Pains me to say it because I don't like the club. I really do not like PSG at all. But I gotta give credit when credit is due. So PSG have been pretty damn good in Ligue 1 this year so far. They have gone 5 for 5. They beat Clermont Foot recently 4-0 on Saturday. And that Clermont Foot team also is, it's the same one that drew 3-3 with Lyon a few weeks back. So they've had a pretty good start to their season, but obviously PSG just too strong for them. And I got PSG in first because Man City, I don't think they have the squad depth and the quality compared to a Paris Saint-Germain. But it will be very, very close between first and second place. But I got PSG moving through because they are a complete team. The weak link you could arguably point out is Juan Bernat at left back, but he does a decent job and has actually chipped in over the years at PSG. He's chipped in with a few goals in Champions League games. So he is, if that's your weak link in a team, that's pretty damn good because there are teams with much worse weak links and overall options. So I got PSG finishing first. Second place I've got Man City. Obviously a phenomenal team, and it's no shame coming second place to Paris Saint-Germain. I just think PSG will nick it by a point or 2. I could see Man City dropping points away to Leipzig. I could see that happening because Leipzig are a very good Champions League team, and I think 1 through 3 will be very close. Like it could be something like where we have a situation where it's like match day 4 or 5, it could be Leipzig in the lead by a point or 2, or maybe PSG are third or something like that. This is not going to be an easy group because Leipzig do have good pedigree in this competition, and they've replaced talent adequately. They're not off to the best start this year, but I've got Man City finishing second. Obviously, Pep Guardiola fantastic manager. They're off to a good start in the Premier League. Only time they slipped up was against Tottenham, where they lost 1-0. But with better finishing, that result could have been a different one. Could have been a win probably. But yeah, I got Man City finishing second, and then third place I've got RB Leipzig, but it'll be very close. I mean, they're not off to a great start this year, and I was debating with myself for about 5 minutes. I'm like, I'm not so sure that Leipzig are necessarily guaranteed that third place spot in Bruges fourth, because this is going to be a tough group for Leipzig and Club Bruges. Obviously, the latter it'll be much tougher for, but they've got some really good players. So I mean, it's going to be tough, but Leipzig aren't off to the best start this year, really. I mean, they beat Stuttgart 4-0, and out of the 4 games so far in the Bundesliga, that's their only win. So they currently sit at 12th place, 3 defeats out of 4. Jesse Marsch isn't off to a great start, but I think they will have enough to finish third. And I think overall it will be very close between these, because there are obviously going to be some upsets or some surprise, drop points. But Leipzig have a pretty good team, and even though Jesse Marsch hasn't gotten off to a great start, I see that changing very soon. It's a brand new league, a brand new group of players, but still in the Red Bull franchise. So, I think Leipzig will definitely make a genuine effort to try to qualify for the second round or the round of 16, but I think they will fall a little short at the end. But we'll see what happens. But I've got them third, and then for fourth place I've got Club Bruges. I just don't see them picking up enough points. I don't think they'll pick up anything out of Man City or PSG. But they could win points off of RB Leipzig, and obviously they could, because anything's possible. But Club Bruges, I've watched a few games from them this year. The last one being the win over which game did I watch? It's Westerlo. I believe I watched the Zulte Waregem 4-0 win against Zulte Waregem. And Club Bruges have some pretty good players, like Noah Lang from the Ajax Academy. Very good player. Vormer and Hans Vanaken. Hans Vanaken likes a goal in Europe. He's a pretty good player. Stanley Nsoki is on loan from Paris Saint-Germain. Good youth player. I'm excited to see what he does. Charles de Ketelaere is good for a goal too. Simon Mignolet between the sticks, and then they've got some decent attacking options. Bas Dost off the bench, or Vanderbrandt. So I think they will finish fourth, but it won't be a complete disgrace or anything like that. But yeah, that's how I see it. So I've got Man City. I've got PSG topping that group. Second place, I got Man City. Third place, I've got Leipzig, and fourth place, I've got Club Bruges. So we'll see what happens, but I'm decently confident about this one. Group B. I don't know what to make of Group B. This is, group of death and whatnot, but this is a tough one to predict. But I did come to a consensus. So to top the group, I'm actually going to go with AC Milan. I've watched all 3 of their games this year. They played Lazio. They played who else did they play? They played Lazio. They played Cagliari, and they played, I forget the other game. I'll know it when I see it. They played Sampdoria. So they've got 3 wins from 3 in Serie A. And tomorrow they're going to be away to Anfield. Should be a tremendous game. But yeah, the thing is about AC Milan is I really like their attacking options and their goalie, defense. Mike Maignan, good keeper. Fikayo Tomori, Kjaer. Theo Hernandez, one of the best left backs in the world. Offensively, he's fantastic. And Sandro Tonali is finally emerging. He did really well in the game against Lazio, I have to say. And Rafael Leao also took his goal really well. And they've got some really good options. And Pioli is quite a good manager. AC Milan fans weren't really happy with the appointment when he got hired initially, but I honestly think that they have what it takes. I think they can pull off the shock and get first place. Honest to God, I think AC Milan will get first place. And then so I've got AC Milan in first place. Second place is very tough because I'm leaning either Liverpool or Atletico Madrid. I think I'm going to go with Atletico Madrid second because I like their squad and their pedigree in this competition. A little bit more than Liverpool. Granted, Liverpool did win a Champions League and Atletico Madrid have not. But they do. Usually Atletico Madrid is good for, making it through and making a nice run in the Champions League. And so for Atletico Madrid, obviously they got Griezmann back, Luis Suarez, Joao Felix. I mean, these guys have so many attacking options. And obviously Diego Simeone is going to play that style, that gritty, hard-nosed defensive football, but it's very effective for them, and he's proven that through all his time at Atletico Madrid. And again, the squad options, one on the weekend in a La Liga game, you can go with Griezmann or Joao Felix at the striker and attacking midfield, and then you could go with Luis Suarez. You can get him rest. But I really like the look of this Atletico Madrid team. I do think they will get first place or second place, excuse me. So I just, yeah, it'll be interesting, man. Because the thing about Atletico Madrid is I watched the Espanyol game yesterday, right? So they were trailing 1-0 for the majority of the game. I believe it was like near the 80th minute that Yannick Carrasco scored. I'll look it up. But yeah, Yannick Carrasco scored in the 79th minute, and then Thomas Lemar came through. The 90th minute plus 9 added on. So the 99th minute for, lack of a better term. But they were trailing for about 40 minutes, and they found 2 very late goals. So that's kind of that magic that I see in Atletico Madrid. They can pull it out of the bag even when they're not playing at their best. But yeah, I've got Liverpool, and then I've got Liverpool finishing third. And it's not because I don't rate Liverpool, and it's not that I want to diss them or anything, but I'm not huge on the squad this year. I'm going to be real, because Wijnaldum left for PSG. That's going to affect their play a lot, I think, especially in these European. And then Harvey Elliott the other day got injured. I catched a little bit of the Leeds game. Yeah, they did very well, but I just think I just think Liverpool's squad overall, the injuries are really going to hamper them, I feel. And I feel like if they got third place and if they won the Europa League, that would be excellent for them. Because winning a European trophy that's still an achievement in itself. But yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of going for a shocker pick at the order I've got, because a lot of people have AC Milan like third or bottom, but I like AC Milan a lot personally. I'm a big fan of the way they're playing under Pioli. So, and then in fourth place I've got FC Porto, but again, it's no disrespect to them. I just feel like they're out of the teams in this group, they are the least talented and the least likely. But then again, this is a group of death for a reason. And FC Porto have proven over the years in Champions League that they can go toe to toe with big teams and not be scared. Their most recent game was a draw against their heated rivals, Sporting Club in Portugal. They've got some decent options like Mehmet Taremi, good Iranian striker. Jesus Corona, very good player, versatile. Luis Diaz, another good player for them. Manuel Uribe, Mbemba, Pepe, Marcano, Otavio. I think he's a pretty good player too. So, and then they also have Pepe off the bench, Sergio Oliveira, and then Marco Grujic, who's still on loan from Liverpool, I believe, or maybe, or I could be wrong about that. It might be that Porto purchased him, but it's a decent side, but they're not off to the best start in Liga NOS in Portugal. They drew with Maritimo. They did beat Aruca 3-0, but then drew with Sporting. It's still early days, but not the best of starts. But, it's still early, but 5 matches played, 11 points. They are trailing Benfica and Sporting CP. So, but I think they'll finish 4th, but it'll be very tight. It will be tight because this is going to be a very unpredictable group. But that's my attempt, I suppose, at predicting that group. So, again, just to reiterate, I've got Atletico Madrid. I have AC Milan first. I have Atletico Madrid second, Liverpool third, and FC Porto bottom. But they could do some damage in the Conference League. And same thing with Liverpool if they, finish third and go to the Europa League. So, you never know. Group C, I think, is a very underrated group. This is a tough one to call, honestly, because all 4 of these teams have very, very good crowds. They have very good home. The atmosphere at all 4 of these games is tremendous. I mean, Ajax have some of the best ultras in Europe. Same thing with Besiktas. They, extremely loud, and obviously the yellow wall, and Sporting CP have very good fans too. Good atmosphere. But for this one, I'm first place in this group. I feel like it's actually I'm kind of leaning towards Ajax, honestly. I think I'm gonna go Ajax. And this is because I like the look of Ajax right now as a squad, complete offense, defense, and goalkeeper. I like them overall a bit more than Borussia Dortmund. Obviously, they don't have as superior as a strike force and an offense as Borussia Dortmund does, obviously, with Haaland and Royce and Giovanni Reina and all these other guys. But I still think it's a pretty good team. I've watched a few Ajax games this year. I didn't catch the PEC Zwolle game, but so far in the Eredivisie, Ajax are in 2nd place. 3 wins, 1 draw. They are behind PSV Eindhoven. So, just 1 draw. So, but the other 3 wins were against NEC Breda. I watched that game. It was a 5-0 battering. They were up 4-0 by the 20th minute. And then the 20th game I also watched. That was pretty frustrating from an Ajax perspective because they were very Twente played really, really well defensively, and then they beat Vitesse 5-0 and PEC Zwolle 2-0. So, and that's the other thing that obviously it's the Eredivisie is weaker than the Bundesliga in terms of the teams that they play, but Vitesse are still a pretty decent team, and Twente gave them trouble. So, but Ajax in their wins, they kept clean sheets. So I value that, and so that's why I put them in first place. And obviously, you have the likes of let me see here. Sebastian Haller, Steven Berghuis, very good player from Feyenoord. Got transferred recently. Dusan Tadic, excellent, has been excellent for them the past few years. Anthony, really, really good player. Edson Alvarez, Ryan Gravenberch, Mazraoui, decent right back. And then you've got the emerging young center back, Timber and Dali Blind. I just like, and then their bench also, I think their bench is pretty strong. Mohamed Daramy, recent transfer from FC Copenhagen. Good player, very good player. And they've also got Danilo on the bench, who was on loan at Twente last year and did really well. And then David Neres, obviously we know what he is capable of. So I actually have Ajax topping this group. And then in second place, I have Borussia Dortmund because it's I can't trust them. I can't trust them defensively. They've got way too many injuries currently. It's not looking great for them because the thing is that yes, they can outscore teams. You know, the Leverkusen Dortmund game was the game of the weekend in all of Europe on Saturday. That was a tremendous game to watch. I mean, 4-3 thriller, but Dortmund cannot defend. They cannot defend. I mean, the quality of defense, it's just not there right now. They can outscore teams sometimes, but man, they have problems defensively. I mean, they had Manuel Akanji in defense, who's okay, and then they had this player Pongracic made his debut. Marin Pongracic, 24-year-old defender, on loan from Wolfsburg. You know, it's just the back line has no consistency, and I feel bad for Kobel because Kobel is a good goalie from good goalie, and they recently bought him from VfB Stuttgart. Good goalie, but that defense, man, I can't trust it. You know, everything else really, you know, works really well. I mean, Jude Bellingham, tremendous player, tremendous talent. Axel Witsel finally starting to actually get some game time in his correct position, not as a center back, but as that, you know, defensive midfielder. But he's just really getting let down by his defense. I mean, Dahoud is another good player. Julian Brandt finally can pick up some form, and obviously you've got goals galore with Erling Haaland. But I just think that defense is just gonna affect them sooner or later, and it'll affect them in Champions League because they're gonna have Bundesliga game at the weekend, and then a Champions League game, and then Bundesliga. It's gonna be tired, and this Dortmund defense has already conceded. Let's see here. Let's do some quick math. 3 goals to Leverkusen. They conceded 2 to Hoffenheim. Conceded 2 to Freiburg. Both teams to score hits a lot in these games, in these Borussia Dortmund games. They've conceded 7 through 3. Then they got beat 3-1 by Bayern München in the Super Cup. So that's 10 from 4 games. They won 5-2 against Eintracht Frankfurt, but conceded 2 goals. So that's 12 goals conceded through 5 games. And I think Besiktas, when they play tomorrow, Besiktas will be licking their lips. They might get outscored, but they can at least put some goals up. It's gonna be a very, very hostile atmosphere at the Vodafone Park. But that's why I have Dortmund in second place. Third place, I've got Sporting CP. Pretty good side. I haven't watched too much of them this year, unfortunately, but that'll change when we watch when the Champions League is on. But I'm trying to think of what game I did watch from them. I could have sworn I at least watched one game, but they're off to a good start in Liga NOS. Third place right now, 3 wins, 2 draws though, so they are behind Benfica, same record as Porto. 3 wins out of their past 5, but 2, the last 2 being draws against weaker opposition. And the one of the draws was Famalicão, decent little side from Portugal, and then Porto, the big derby. So I'm gonna take Sporting CP at third place. Some teams from some notable players from Sporting CP. Paulinho, good center forward. Nuno Santos on that left wing. Ruben Vinagre, I think he's on loan from Wolves. Paulinho in the midfield too. Sebastian Coates, Luis Neto, decent center back. Johan Cabral, very speedy, tricky player. He's pretty young too, and I believe he got transferred recently. Or no, sorry, he was with the Sporting CPB team. Okay. But Yeah, I've liked what I've seen whenever I watch Sporting CP from Cabral and these guys. So, but I think they will finish fourth. Again, this is going to be a very tight group, in my opinion, at least. So I've got them third, and then I've got Besiktas fourth. I do really like their transfers, though. Again, this is not going to be an easy group for any of the teams. This is going to be very close. I don't see any whipping boys. I don't think Besiktas are going to be playing around. I don't think they're going to be, getting destroyed. It's going to be very tough because Besiktas are off to a red-hot start in the Turkish Super League. They have 3 wins from 4, 1 draw, 7 goals for and none conceded, 2 straight wins. They beat Yeni Malatyaspor and Umreni and Fatih Karagümrük, and the only blemish on their part is the 0-0 draw with Gaziantepspor. So, but they have not conceded a goal yet this year, so they are still unbeaten. So I rate Besiktas' squad pretty highly, but I do think that just the overall quality between these teams and the other will show. But there's some good players on Besiktas. I mean, Domagoj Vida still playing really well for Besiktas, Croatian international. Valentin Rozier can do some damage from right wing back. Alex Teixeira, Gael Nakudu, Rashid Ghezal, Mishi Batshuayi, Pjanic recently also. Souza is a decent holding midfielder as well. They've got an all right bench with Wellington, Gökhan Tore, not bad, and Okan Özyakup. Might be saying these wrong, but I have been watching Besiktas. I am a fan of theirs, but yeah, I do think it will be fourth though. But this will not be a group where it's going to be one clear favorite. The positions will swap around a lot, in my opinion. But yeah, just to reiterate, I've got Ajax first, Borussia Dortmund second, Sporting Club de Portugal in third, and Besiktas at fourth place. That's for Group C roundup. Group D, Inter Milan, Real Madrid, Shakhtar Donetsk, and Sheriff Tiraspol. Basically a repeat of 3 of the 4 teams from last year, because obviously it was Inter, Real Madrid, Shakhtar Donetsk, and Borussia Mönchengladbach. This is a very interesting group, and honestly, it's going to sound silly, but the team I'm most interested in seeing is how Sheriff Tiraspol cope with these teams, because I think they could pull a shock off or two. I watched the Champions League qualifiers against Red Star Belgrade, or it was Red. Yeah, no, it was Red Star. It was Red Star. They played Red Star in the 3rd qualifying round of the Champions League in late July, early August, and then they also played. Then for the playoff round, they played Dinamo Zagreb. I watched both, so I've watched 4 Sheriff Tiraspol games, and to be honest, they were deserved winners over both legs of both of those ties, to be honest. So I'm going to be really interested to see what they do, but, to top the group, I'm going to go with Inter Milan, simply because they have that same core of defense. They didn't lose anyone besides Hakimi, but Hakimi wasn't known for his defending. It was more of his offensive production from the right wing back, and then they replaced him very adequately with the Dutch right back. That his name's escaping me at the moment. Who did they buy? No. Dumfries. No, it wasn't Dumfries. Hold on. Who the hell did they buy? Who the hell is that Dutch right back? See, I gotta remember these things, man. I gotta remember these things. Let's see. Go to the Wikipedia. Yeah, who did they buy recently? Is it? No. It. Let's see. Dutch. Who do we got here? Stefan de Vrij. Anna Radu. Where is it? Yeah, no, it is Dumfries. Okay, it is Denzel Dumfries. Okay. All right. I'm not crazy. I'm not losing my mind. Anyways, Inter Milan, yeah, they're looking all right this year. They did draw yesterday. I did watch the Sampdoria versus Inter Milan game. It was uncharacteristic from Inter. Drop points, definitely. But I'm sure Simone Inzaghi, who I've been following very closely at Lazio over the past few years, he's a brilliant manager, very underrated. Brought in Joaquin Correa also, along with Dumfries, and yes, Lukaku departed, but and then they also brought in Edin Dzeko on a free transfer. I still think he can do some damage. So I actually got Inter at top spot. Second place, I'll go for Real Madrid. I don't think they're as good as Inter Milan, but I really do like the acquisition of Eduardo Camavinga from Stade Rennais. Excellent player, and they got him a lot cheaper than it would have been compared to last year, because last year there were talks of 80, 90, $100 million prices that Rennes were putting on Camavinga. But Real Madrid have been, it's been up and down so far this year in terms of performances. Results have been pretty good, 3 wins and a draw. Obviously, that draw at Levante was crazy, but Real Madrid are just kind of, they're very unpredictable, because it's like they can grind out these 1-0 wins, and that's what they've been doing a lot for the most part the last few years. But, you know, the wins over Alaves and Celta Vigo, 4-1 and 5-2. You know, those are good good second half performances in the Alaves case. And I didn't catch the Celta Vigo game, but beating them 5-2. Karim Benzema hat trick, you know he's gonna score, and Camavinga got a debut goal, so that's pretty awesome for him. But I've got them finishing second just because defensively, I don't know, they're not consistent enough. Unlike Inter, obviously losing Varane and Ramos is going to affect that defense somehow, and Courtois can't bail you out every single time. So I do have them finishing second place, but this will be a tight group, and I still do think Sheriff Tiraspol can take points off of Real Madrid if they're, you know, getting complacent, or an Inter. I think Sheriff Tiraspol should not be taken lightly. Just because it's a Moldovan team doesn't mean that they don't have the quality. They do deserve to be here because they've beaten 2 Champions League caliber teams over 2 legs and with more resources than they have. So that just speaks to their mentality. So in third place, I've got Shakhtar Donetsk. Very good team, lots of Brazilian players, obviously, but sadly in the U.S. it's hard to catch Shakhtar Donetsk games, but the 2 games that I have watched from them were against Monaco, and then I've been keeping up with their other Ukrainian Premier Liga games. But I don't know. Sorry, I watched the third qualifying round against Genk. They won 2-1 both of those games, pretty convincing, 4-2 on aggregate, and then they went away to Monaco and won 1-0, courtesy of a Pedrinho goal in the 19th minute. Excuse me. And then they the next game that they played against Monaco was a 2-2 draw. And they played, they were actually down 2-0. They had to find a late goal from Marlos, very good player, he scored in the 74th minute. Then Ruben Aguilar own goal in the 114th minute. And that clinched their qualification to the group stage. But it's kind of been up and down so far for Shakhtar Donetsk this year so far. But because they drew 1-1 with Milan in the Russian Premier, not the Russian, jeez, controversial. In the Ukrainian Premier Liga, they sit in second place in that league behind Dynamo Kiev, also in the Champions League. But so Shakhtar have a pretty good team. Pyatov, very good young player. Matvienko, Ismaili, good left back. Konoplyanka on the right. Stepanenko and Mike Connor are good. They're good holding midfielders. Alan Patrick is a decent attacking midfielder. Pedrinho, good player. Fernando, Tete. They've got some good teams, and I really like their bench. Marlos, Manor Solomon, Lassina Traore, Marcus Antonio, good midfielder. So I think they'll be good for second place. Or third place, excuse me. And then fourth place, I do have Sheriff Tiraspol. I just think that the quality will decline a bit, but I think they will cause a shock or two in this group. I think they will get beat most of the time just because of the quality of the two teams, but listen, you can't discount them. You can't discount them just because they're a Moldovan team in this competition. Yes, the quality is obviously different, but the thing about sport is that it's not just about the physical, I've got the better players, so we're going to win because Benzema is better than Sheriff's defenders. But you can't discount them. You can't discount them. You have to go and take care of business, and they beat Red Star Belgrade and Dinamo Zagreb, and those are two Champions League quality teams. I was impressed when I watched the Dinamo game against Dinamo. I was impressed with Adama Traore from Mali, not the Adama Traore from Wolves. And Cristiano at left back was good. And Sebastian Phil? What's his name? Yeah, Sebastian Phil, Luxembourgish footballer. Good player. But yeah, I think this Sheriff Tiraspol team, especially at home, because that is how they advanced, because they beat Sheriff beat Dinamo Zagreb 3-0 at home, and then a 1-0 win over Red Star Belgrade, and then they started out in the first qualifying round. They won their home game against KF Tueta from Albania, I believe, and then they beat Alashkert 3-1. So they win their home games, and they've beaten Dinamo Auto 7-1 in the Moldovan League, and they beat Petro Kopinchesti 2-0 on Sunday. So they win their home games more often than not, and they sit top of the 18, or they sit in fourth place currently, but they, the other teams in Moldova have played at least 8 games, and Sheriff have played 5 because obviously the Moldovan FA wants them to qualify for the Champions League, so they had a few games postponed. But I think they will be fourth, but don't count them out. Don't count them out. So just to reiterate, I got Group D. I've got Inter Milan, Real Madrid, Shakhtar Donetsk, and Sheriff Tiraspol. I think that'll be it. But honestly, I could see Sheriff Tiraspol getting third place. That would be an incredible achievement for them. And it's cool that regardless if Sheriff Tiraspol finish bottom, at least they can try to do something in the Europa League, and that's pretty cool for all these teams. So, but yeah, we'll move on to the Bayern versus the Bayern München Group E. But you got Bayern, Barcelona, Benfica, and Dinamo Kiev. One sec, guys. All right, sorry about that, guys. So actually, I'm just going to do, real quick, the Champions League predictions, and then later today, I'll finish up and do the Europa League ones, and I'll have a video separate on that. But real quick, I think Bayern will top the group. Lewandowski, Musiala, all these guys. I think Barcelona's second place, still some instability. Depay's been very good. Benfica, third place, and then Dinamo Kiev, fourth place. Again, I think this will be a relatively tight and competitive group. Then we got Villarreal, Man United, Atalanta, and BSC Young Boys. Let's go. Yeah, Bayern versus Barca today. Exactly, Zaid. It's going to be fun, man. So for this group, I'll actually go with, I'm going to take, this is tough. I'm going to go for a bit of a shocker. I'm going to go for Atalanta first, Man United second, Villarreal third, and BSC Young Boys in fourth. But, you know, that could change. Man United, I'm not convinced entirely yet. Lille, Group G, we've got Lille, Sevilla, FC Salzburg, VfL Wolfsburg. So for this group, I actually got Wolfsburg on top. Veghorst, good defense, Castells, all these guys. I think that they'll get top spot. Second place, I've got FC Salzburg, another surprise. Very good recently in the Champions League. Sevilla, third place. They can go and do their thing in the Europa League. I think that's what will end up happening. And then fourth place, I've got Lille. Gouvenek, not a good manager. Underwhelming appointment for Lille, and they're suffering now because of it. So that's what I've got for that. And then Group H, we've got Chelsea, Juventus, Zenit, and Malmo. So Chelsea, I think, will top the group. Then Juventus. And I think I'm going to go with another shocker. I'm actually going to take Zenit. I've been watching Zenit recently, and they can win in a variety of different ways. And I think the mentality at Juventus right now is rock bottom. I'm not liking that. I'm not liking their style of play or anything going on there at the club right now. So I'm going to say second place, Zenit. Juventus, third place, and Malmo FF, who aren't a team to be taken lightly. They did beat Rangers on aggregate. Very proper team. I thought Rangers were going to make the Champions League, but yeah, I think Malmo will finish fourth place, but yeah, I do have to wrap it up a little early, but I'll make my Champions League my Europa League and Conference League predictions shortly, and I'll do a separate video on that. But yeah, share the video around. Feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. Take care, everyone. Thanks for watching. Peace out, guys. Ciao.